In 2019, Pitchfork reported that Juicy J and DJ Paul announced reunion concerts for 3 6 Mafia. The group had disbanded in 2012 when its members decided to pursue solo careers. This year has brought new music from the two of us. I know fans have been asking for it, so we're ready to give them the classics and new tracks. Like Double L used to say, don't call it a comeback, we've always been here. We've got something to show. Just wait for next year, said DJ Paul in a statement. 3 6 Mafia is a group from Memphis considered to be the pioneers of trap. One of their members, Lord Infamous, is even credited with inventing the triplet flow. You might recognize this flow in any Migos song. The original group lineup included Juicy J, DJ Paul, Gangsta Boo, Crunchy Black, Lord Infamous, and Koopsta Nika. The last two passed away in 2013 and 2015, respectively. Gangsta Boo was found dead in her home on January 1, 2023, at the age of 43. The group achieved success both on the local scene and in the mainstream. They also became the first rap group to win an Oscar for the song It's Hard Out Here for a Pimp from the movie Hustle and Flow. 3 6 Mafia is considered a true pillar of hip-hop. In the history of the genre, the group has a separate, very important place, as they largely shape the form of modern rap. In this video, we'll talk about how exactly 3 6 Mafia taught everyone how to rap. Well, let's get into it. Memphis rap is one of the darkest, most intense and original branches of hip-hop, which emerged in the early 90s in Tennessee. This style is characterized by minimalist, oppressive beats with deep 808 bass, metallic snares, a psychedelic mood, and often violent, abstract lyrics, as if conveyed from a space between life and death. But among its origins, in addition to musical innovators like DJ Squeaky and DJ Zerk, was unexpectedly an immigrant from Iran, Saeed Zarshinas. Saeed Zarshinas, known in Memphis as Mr. Z, came to the US from the Iranian city of Shiraz in 1977. Initially, he planned to get a business education and return home. However, the events of 1979, the takeover of the American embassy in Tehran and the ensuing political crisis, made his return impossible. Effectively trapped in America, Saeed was forced to find ways to survive. He scraped by with odd jobs until he noticed the growing American interest in car audio. By the mid-1980s, Saeed had turned his hobby into a business. He opened the shop Mr. Z Sound Express in the crosstown area of Memphis. This place, with its peeling sign and ads for car alarms and window tinting, quickly became an epicenter of local music culture. As drug trafficking rapidly increased, street dealers began buying old cars and installing sound systems worth thousands of dollars. Saeed saw a niche and began selling mixtapes from local DJs, DJ Sonity and Spanish Fly, to demonstrate the sound. It was through Mr. Z's Sound Express that the underground scene's music began circulating among the youth. The shop became an unofficial distribution hub for mixtapes, which were spread around the city via car trunks, backpacks, and cassette players. Many tracks, including Cult Works by DJ Zerk and DJ Squeaky, reach listeners specifically through Mr. Z's shelves. These mixtapes, often with minimal sound quality and deliberately dark aesthetics, created Memphis's unique sound. Harsh, slowed down, and tense. The music of that time, often recorded on cheap equipment, reflected the reality of a poor, forgotten city immersed in violence and despair. Tracks were mixed manually, often sampling each other, creating a kind of audio universe, an internal mythology of Memphis street culture. One such track, Going to Mr. Z's, by DJ Spanish Fly, was even a direct advertisement for Saeed's store. I'm going to Mr. Z's. I'm going to Mr. Z's to get my people hooked up real cheap. By the early 90s, Memphis rap had formed as a genre cut off from the rest of the world. At the time, the industry focused on New York and Los Angeles, and regional scenes like Memphis's remained in the shadows. In this isolation, a unique style was born, the forerunner of modern trap. Rappers such as Kingpin Skinny Pimp, Gangsta Pat, Lord Infamous, and later 3 6 Mafia developed this sonic palette into a full-fledged genre. In 1991, when West Coast gangsta rap hadn't yet reached its commercial peak, and the East Coast had already lost its former dominance, in the south of the United States, in Memphis, a young trio, Juicy J Paul, Juicy J, and Lord Infamous, founded the group Backyard Posse. Their main goal was to be different from everyone else. Do gangsta rap? It was everywhere already. Even Southerners like Ghetto Boys were doing it. UGK from Texas hadn't made a loud name for themselves yet, and the labels No Limit and Cash Money were just beginning their first steps in the business. The New York sound was completely distant from them. What about dark themes and Satanism? That market was empty. Well, It seemed fate itself was showing the young guys where to go. After releasing several low-quality EPs, they decided to change the name to something more fitting, 666 Mafia, or 36 Mafia, with the number of the beast encrypted in the name. Juicy J and DJ Paul also founded the label Profit Entertainment, along with their comrade, Nick Scarfo.
Do you ever look back at 36 Mafia, that legacy that you guys created?
Yes.
Do you ever feel that when people say, like, man, we talk about flowers all the time, and y'all get y'all flowers.
Yeah.
But do you feel like people really understand what 36 Mafia did?
Man, they don't understand. They'll understand sooner or later. One day.
Man.
They understand some things, but they don't understand like all these flows, the way that these artists now dress, all that stuff was what we did back in the day. You know what I'm saying?
Man, when we look at the way the crew was, the way they dressed to tear the clubs up, and taking a city and a state and putting that on your shoulders and everything that was looked at a certain way. Like y'all look like y'all stepped on stage if y'all were just coming straight from the house. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It looked so real and it felt so real.
In '94, another label, Hypnotize Minds Records, was founded, and the group continued to expand. Copester Nika, Gangsta Boo, and Crunchy Black joined the lineup. Around the Mafia was also a large circle of other Memphis rappers: Project Pat, Fraser Boy, La Chat, Lil White, T-Rock, Gangsta Black, Kingpin Skinny Pimp, Scanman, and Al Capone. Because of this, they were dubbed the Southern Wu-Tang, and here's what the group members themselves thought about having girls in the group.
How does it feel to be the only girl in a all-male group, in a pretty much male group, and then in a male-dominated industry?
It's cool because I learned a lot of things about you men. You know what I'm saying? I learned a lot of things, so therefore I ain't finna fall a week or 2 weeks to none of the game that's being spit by the men that's out there, because I got like a clique of real men that hit me on top of that. So it's all gravy, it's all love, and I'm glad to be here.
Okay.
In May of '95, 36 Mafia released their debut album, Mystic Stylers. It featured graphic depictions of murder, violence, drug use, and Satanism. Juicy J explained the album's title by saying that each member of the group has their own unique style. Although Mystic Stylers is a completely underground record, critics praised it highly, and Complex magazine ranked it 74th in the list of the 90 best rap albums of the 90s. Not bad for such an uncompromising release. Its influence on the genre only grew from there. One cannot fail to mention the beef with the Cleveland group Bone Thugs and Harmony. On Mystic Stylers, there's a track titled Live By Your Rep, in which the Mafia laid out their position in detail, accusing Bone Thugs of stealing their style and making it mainstream. A couple of years later, all the 36 Mafia members called the conflict a misunderstanding, but they don't regret it, as it gave them the opportunity to show just how meaty their disses were.
That's what I would do, skinny, but what would you do? Just look into the...
Was the Fast Flow originated in Chicago? A little beef behind that because Bone felt like they originated it.
I think it was a little bit of everywhere. Even though you had Bone, you still had people like Jay with the Originators joint.
Das Effects.
Das Effects. You had Poor Righteous Teachers. You had different people that, to me, in their own way, helped pioneer the style.
Did you and Bone get through y'all little situation? Because y'all had beef at one point. They was making diss records saying you took their style and...
Yeah, we was going at it at one point. I think, we was all young, trying to own that style. Everybody started taking it after a while, though. We eventually just started seeing each other. I think when we first made our real good connection was when we shot the video for Spit Your Game.
Interestingly, the beef didn't end there. In 2021, a meeting between 36 Mafia and Bone Thugs and Harmony almost ended in a fight. On December 2, a versus show took place in Los Angeles. It's something like a hit battle, where participants compete with their creative legacy and take turns performing their hits from different years. During the fourth round, the atmosphere heated up. Busy Bone, a member of Bone Thugs and Harmony, was unhappy with how the opponents behaved during his group's performance. "When I'm on stage, you bastards better not be mocking me," he addressed DJ Paul and Gangsta Boo, who were mimicking a slow dance, thus mocking the other group's track. "Act normal." Juicy J reacted to his words with an insult. Busy immediately threw his microphone toward the opponents. Members of both groups and their entourages began to approach each other. The first punches were thrown. The artists were taken away and the show was paused for 15 minutes, after which the performance continued, but without Busy. Busy returned to the stage a little later and apologized to both groups. Later, people on the internet noticed the comments Busy had left on social media in the days leading up to the battle. He called 36 Mafia people who worship Satan and demanded that they renounce the devil during the Versuzi performance.
Yeah. Joints way up tempo. Like, I was surprised when that came on, but again, from the outside looking in, it didn't feel like it was anything disrespectful going on. So I'm like, well, maybe it's just us.
I didn't even see what they had done. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even see what they had done. So like when he said y'all was so he said they was mocking him, I didn't really know what he was talking about because I didn't see that. I didn't see them slow dancing to that. I wasn't looking at that. Like I said, my mind was on, I'm thinking like, why we play this song myself? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I didn't see none of that. I didn't even hear Juicy J said what he said on the mic until I watched it. No, until my homie Rocky Rock told me. He was like, nah. He told me to suck his dick. I was like, oh, what? Because I didn't hear none of that.
The group's next record, Chapter 1, The End, turned out softer, but the general theme remained unchanged. Most likely because of this, it received much less attention than Mystic Styles. A year later, the guys landed a deal with the major label Relativity Records, on which they released the album Chapter 2, World Domination, and it was a real victory. Not only did it go gold in sales, but it also featured their first hit, Tier Da Club Up 97. True, they had to sacrifice the horrorcore style for success, but the guys fairly decided they didn't need to release a series of records about the same thing. It was on Chapter 2 World Domination that 3 6 Mafia showed us what crunk and trap are, and all of this, mind you, back in '97. For the next 3 years, after releasing their third studio album, the group focused on side projects and helped other team members with their solo work. In June 2000, they returned with the album When the Smoke Clears, 66-61, which achieved platinum status by December of that year. This was the year 2000. Hip-hop still hadn't moved past the gangster fever, club rap was taking over the charts, Cash Money was just beginning to broadcast to the whole world, and No Limit was slowly sinking with its monotonous approach to music. 3 6 Mafia still remained outcasts and dark horses, but now with platinum sales. After the release of the soundtrack album Choices, the album, serious conflicts over money began in the group. Gangsta Boo and Koopsta Nika left the group, and Juicy J and DJ Paul decided to release solo albums. Both, in general, went mostly unnoticed. The group, now consisting of Lord Infamous, Juicy J, DJ Paul, and Crunchy Black, returned in 2003 with a new album, The Unbreakables. It only managed to go gold, but this was partly the fault of the label Loud Records, which shut down after this release. 3 6 Mafia moved under the wing of Sony Records, where they first released a second soundtrack album, Choices 2, The Setup, and then began preparing a real bomb.
Well, in preparation for this battle, Juicy J decided to reveal what led to the previous breakup of 3 6 Mafia in the past. So I had to bust up in his room and pretty much beat him with a pillow to wake him up.
In 2005, thanks to the major label Sony, 3 6 Mafia made a big mainstream breakthrough with singles for their upcoming album Most Known Unknown. For the first time, they began appearing alongside rap stars of various calibers, Kanye West, Bow Wow, Remy Ma, and so on. To be fair, it should be noted that they didn't forget about their comrades Project Pat, Fraser Boy, and Chrome Corleone, giving them not the last roles in this musical blockbuster. Predictably, Most Known Unknown easily went platinum in about half a year. The single Stay Fly, which we showed at the very beginning of the video, went double platinum, and in the video for Side to Side appeared Bow Wow, Exhibit, Travis Barker, and Life Jennings. The only thing that overshadowed all the success was the absence of Lord Infamous on Most Known Unknown. Rumors began to circulate about his expulsion from the group, but the reason turned out to be even simpler. He was in prison at the time. In the end, he still had to leave the group, as Sony didn't want to deal with criminals. Thus, 3 6 Mafia officially became a trio.
You know, speaking of Lord Infamous, he died not too long ago.
Yeah.
Well, what was the cause of death?
Oh, heart attack in his sleep.
Sad. How old was he?
40. He had just turned 40 the month before that.
Young.
Yeah, young.
Way too young.
Yeah.
How were you guys affected by it when you heard?
It was terrible. You know, Lord Infamous always lived life on the edge, so it didn't necessarily surprise people in the circle. But, you know, everybody was like super, super hurt. Like it killed us, you know, it killed us. It took away from the whole group when he passed away, because the whole group was formed because of him. You know, and for him, the Mafia 6.
The Mafia 6.
The following year, the group became a welcome guest at various glamorous parties. The guys often appeared on television, and even Justin Timberlake invited Mafia to collaborate on his album. Their song, It's Hard Out Here for a Pimp, ended up on the soundtrack for the movie Hustle and Flow, leading to unexpected surprises. In 2006, at the Oscars ceremony, 3 6 Mafia received an award in the category Best Original Song. Thus, they became the first rap group to win an Oscar. Did they expect something like this 10 years earlier, sitting in Memphis and making horrorcore rap? Their victory sparked heated public debate. How could a song about a pimp's hard life win at the most prestigious film award in the world? But they weren't stripped of the award, they earned it. And here's how the track itself sounded.
My eyes, I done seen some crazy things in the street. Got a couple of girls working on the track.
You know what I'm saying? Gil Case, everybody, man.
We love you.
Hell, I got plenty of time left. I don't know nobody else's name. I want to thank everybody,
Lisa
man.
Ellis, Donnie Einer. Yeah.
Once again, our families. Ludacris, Shaka, what's up? Going down,
love
James
y'all, man.
Yeah. George Clooney, my favorite man. He showed me love when I first met him.
Memphis, we bring the house.
We out of here.
Yeah. Memphis, Tennessee.
After a streak of success, as often happens, 3 6 Mafia enters a dark period. First, another member leaves the group, Crunchy Black. He was very unhappy with his position in the crew. Crunchy had done a lot for the group since its inception, but all the glory and most of the profits went to DJ Paul and Juicy J. Also, Black had managed to record a solo album, but most of the material for it was asked by his colleagues to be given to Most Known Unknown. As a result, he ended up with neither a solo record nor a decent percentage from the group album sales. 3 6 Mafia turns into a duo of DJ Paul and Juicy J.
Paul and Juicy was the business people of the label that I was on. And they would go to hotel rooms, and we were flying from LA to New York, LA to New York, LA to New York, LA to New York, a lot. And 5-star hotels. You know what I'm talking about? And they would make me put my own incidentals and all kinds of little slick shit they was doing at the time. And I couldn't figure out why they was doing me like that. You're going to pay for everybody else and you're not going to pay for me? When you've been doing this all this time? So it's a lot of shit that was going on that kind of knocked me and made me feel some type of way. If I beat a nigga up for you, Glad, come on, man, you can't look out for me? Don't change up on me. I always tell the hoes that I fuck with right now, the way you got me is the way you're going to have to keep me. And if you don't do what you do from the beginning, that's going to mean I'm going to leave you alone.
The guys have no time to resolve conflicts because they are now prominent figures in the showbiz industry. Riding the wave of success, Sony begs them to record a new album. The first teaser from it is the single Doughboy Fresh with Chameleonaire, released in early 2007. It receives approval from both fans and critics, but the sales leave much to be desired. Sony pushes the album back indefinitely, as they need a hit. Only a year later do 3 6 Mafia return with the track Lolly Lolly, Pop That Body, whose chorus features the already trendy auto-tune sound at the time. At the end of June 2008, the long-awaited album Last to Walk, which had been announced back in the first half of 2007, goes on sale. Here, for the first time, is a clear attempt to please everyone. Here you have tracks with homies Project Pat and Al Capone. For veteran Southern fans, there's UGK. For the younger audience, there are hooks from Akon and Lifey Jennings, as well as the auto-tune in Lolly Lolly, Pop That Body, which annoyed many. The pop rock group Good Charlotte somehow also ended up among the guests. The commercial singles don't help album sales at all, as it sells far worse than the previous one. Instead, 3 6 Mafia got the most unbalanced album of their career and poor ratings for it. The flop of Last to Walk made DJ Paul and Juicy J slow down a bit. Both released average solo albums in 2009, but more attention was drawn to DJ Paul. Since the records were released independently of Sony, he invited Lord Infamous, who had to be removed from the group 5 years earlier, to feature on nearly half the songs on the tracklist. Within the 3 6 Mafia brand, the artists continued their mainstream careers, releasing singles with Webby, Sean Kingston, Flo Rida. All of this further undermined the trust of fans, who had already given up on their once beloved group.
And it's gone. A freak of the week, trying to get a piece. She better know how to move, stay with the beat.
In 2011, Paul and Juicy themselves decide to call it quits with 3 6 Mafia. Due to constant arguments and dissatisfaction with the label Sony, the guys split into solo projects. The rights to the well-known name remain with the major label, so they no longer have the right to use it for commercial purposes. Juicy joins Taylor Gang, the label run by Wiz Khalifa, and prepares to conquer the charts solo. Paul chooses a simpler path. He founds his own company, Scale AT Entertainment, and begins gathering former Mafia members for an entirely new project. In 2013, the group The Mafia 6 emerges, consisting of DJ Paul, Crunchy Black, Coops Danica, Lord Infamous, and Gangsta Boo. Contrary to the popular belief that this was a revival of 3-6 Mafia, Paul claims it's an entirely new project, but those are just words. Because they sound exactly like 3-6 Mafia would without major label interference, evil, energetic, and convincing. Juicy J releases his third solo album, Stay Trippy, and appears on many features with other artists, among them French Montana, Fat Joe, Rick Ross, Sean Paul, Kesha, and Katy Perry. In short, he quickly finds himself in a space where it once seemed 3-6 Mafia had no place. Another blow happens on December 20, 2013. After releasing an album with the new project Da Mafia 6, one of the founders of the group Lord Infamous dies of a heart attack. 6 months later, Gangsta Boo leaves the group, dissatisfied with the overall situation. The group releases 2 more albums before losing another member. On October 9, 2015, Coops Danica dies of a brain aneurysm. This nullifies all of DJ Paul's efforts for the new collective. But no matter what he says, Da Mafia 6 was not perceived as something fresh. It was an attempt to play on the nostalgia of older listeners, albeit a good one. It seemed that all these events should have wiped out the legacy of the Mafia, but for some reason, it was in the 2010s that it started to feel stronger than ever. The most obvious thing? 3-6 Mafia showed the potential for trap, crunk, and cloud rap back in the mid-90s, and these styles only gained popularity in the 2000s and 2010s. The widespread triplet flow, also called the Migos flow, was present in the Mafia's early releases, which is why Juicy J sounds so fresh today. He isn't doing anything new, he's just continuing what he started 25 years ago. Recently, 2 songs in the US became hits that sample pieces from the Mafia track Slob on My Knob from 1999, Plain Jane by A$AP Ferg.
Plain Jane, Yamborghini chain, rest in peace to my superior, Hermes.
Do you get royalties from your rap pattern becoming a thing? A$AP Ferg, Slob on My Knob, G-Eazy record, right? And there's been 3 hit records.
Yes.
Do you see money from that?
100% of the publishing. We own it, me and Paul, yeah.
Wow. 100%.
100%.
So does that mean...
I never sold it.
But what percentage of the Ferg record do you get?
Oh, I got 45% of that.
Wow, that's a great percentage.
When they came out, did you know about them ahead of time? Or you heard it, you was like, oh, that's my... We getting paid.
Yeah, BMG, they administrate our publishing. So I get emails a lot. I clear like 3-4 samples a day. Wow. You know what I'm saying? So they hit me up. They was like, yo, we got this sample. We getting this much percentage. All I got to do is hit approve. That's it. I really let them do all the paperwork and all the negotiation. Yeah, just approve it.
So you say approve and the money starts rolling in.
That's it.
All right, sounds pretty easy.
That's amazing.
And No Limit by G-Eazy, A$AP Rocky, and Cardi B.
Hit it one time, I'm a piper. If I hit it 2 times, then I like her.
The track King's Dead also gained popularity, where in the verse, Future uses words from Slob on My Knob and the same flow.
I ain't gon' pressure, never control you. I ain't gon' front you. Keep it 100, I don't know you.
Another mention-worthy point is the challenge when dozens of rap artists, 21 Savage, A$AP Rocky, Dave East, Lil Uzi Vert, and many others, recorded their verses on the beat of the 2000 track Who Run It. Even Paul and Juicy couldn't resist and added new lines to this instrumental. This unexpected late success prompted Gangsta Boo, Crunchy Black, and Project Pat to go on the World Domination Tour, to make some money and remind people of themselves. The grumpy DJ Paul, unhappy that he wasn't notified, threatened to sue those who organized the tour. In addition, he continues to hint on Twitter about the dishonesty of his former colleagues. As for the younger followers of their work, he speaks even more openly. They would be better off paying him for using his creative legacy instead of offering unnecessary verbal respect. By the way, the copyright situation isn't great for 3-6 Mafia either. In 2020, it was reported that they were being accused of over 150 independent copyright violations across more than 100 separate recordings. The lawsuit was filed by a group of Memphis artists who worked with the members of the Mafia in the 90s. According to the plaintiffs, they participated in producing, recording, and writing lyrics. The tracks Memphis and Tear the Club Up are cited as examples of compositions where the plaintiff's authorship was not credited. Earlier, DJ Paul filed a lawsuit against Travis Scott for copyright infringement, as Travis Scott borrowed the hook of the track No Bystanders from that very Tear the Club Up. According to him, Travis Scott did not get permission to use part of that track. DJ Paul estimated the infringement at $20 million. In September 2019, the rappers reached an out-of-court agreement for compensation, the amount of which was not disclosed. In 2019, it was reported that the group was ready to reunite and start making music again, but this was quickly forgotten. New tracks haven't been seen in the charts either. However, Juicy continues to release music solo, not worse than the younger generation. And that's all for today. What do you think about 3-6 Mafia? Leave your opinion in the comments, like the video, and subscribe to the channel. Goodbye, everyone.